So you had this intention of being like trying to help people understand the mindset of J Hood at that specific time in the mid 2000s, right?
Right, right.
You're not saying this is how I still feel 15 years later. Over
Nah,
the
I don't.
years, yeah, over the years you can tell that you've done a lot of reflecting and
Right,
maturing.
right.
Would you say that the way that you handled that situation is one of your biggest regrets?
Nah, I don't regret. I have very few regrets in life, and that the way I handle that isn't one of them. I mean, it was what it was, man. That's just the way that I felt during that time. At that specific time, excuse me, in that specific time period, I thought that everything that I was doing was justified. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I was acting from an emotional space, and the consumers didn't know what I was dealing with. You feel me? I had to, deal with real life issues. My mother being sick, she ended up passing. My sister having autism, and us just dealing with things like that. Having to pay the bills, having to make sure everything get paid, and at the same time, try to still remain who I am within the underground and still maintain a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, trying to compete with people that, excuse me, artists that people are looking at as my competition, and me knowing that lyrically on a musical level I can, but financially I can't. But it's like you have to do things that make yourself look good because you know that people that you with aren't doing certain stuff, and you don't want people to look at them a certain way and to make them look bad because you all gonna look bad. So you got to do. It's like you guys don't know everything what the hell I was going through. So it was a bunch of stuff like you. It's like the work that you like, even with them trying to discredit me as far as like with the me being a co-founder. Like, dude, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that that's what it was. You dig what I'm saying? Listen, man. Before I came about, there was no D block. It was only the locks. When I came about, I told you how it happened. Like me, Sheik, my former or not even my former manager, but Sheik's friend, we sat down collectively and they came up with the idea to start it. You know, originally it was supposed to be an outlet just to, push Lucha's album on a solo tip. But it was like, we gotta bring an artist on board. And Hood, you gonna be the first artist. And that was the plan. We came on with it. We didn't even have a name for it. Like if anyone is a real fan, you know that back in the days I was doing like these freestyles with DJ Cool Kid. Before we came up with the name D Block, I was shouting out Locks Entertainment because we didn't have a name yet. SP suggested that we use the D Block name. Excuse me. He suggested that we use the D Block name. So we agreed to use that. But I was right there at that table collectively. I mean, we thought about this collectively. Like I was part of this, but I was just a kid. So the title of being a co-founder wasn't something that I was hell bent on pushing the issue on. I was just more so happy with the fact that I was allowed to be around greats and I was a part of something. If I was older, I would have looked at it for what it really was and been like, yo, listen, I need the correct title in this situation, which is co-founder, because that's what I was, man. The energy that I contributed, the ideas that I contributed, the time that I put in, like everything. I'm the one who helped lift these bricks to build this building. And that's just facts. Like my buzz, my bars, everything that I came with was a part of this. Every deal that we got, I played an intricate part in getting it. Universal didn't want to just sign a Sheik. They wanted a Sheik and a Hood album because that was the D Block movement. The same with Cash. They wanted the same thing. And he kind of used me to get that second deal. And the people, a lot of people just aren't that smart enough to break that down and view that for what it really is because it shatters the illusion of the way they want to view these artists.
Yeah, first I want to say rest in peace to your mom, man. You
Appreciate
were
it.
you were going through some really difficult circumstances at that time, and at that age, I feel like anybody in your situation would have probably handled it similarly. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right. And then you got a lot of people that would have. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of people would have went further
Right.
and did something crazy. Like, to be honest, you feel what I'm saying? But I always had uh, the thought in my mind that I had to be there for my family. My family was always number one to me. So that alone kept me out of a lot of situations and kept me from doing a lot of stupid stuff that I probably would have did if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, I don't think that people know the ins and outs of everything, right? Like in hip hop, we're just fans, we're just spectators, and we think that we know everything, but it's not true. Like just because you're getting money and you're famous or something like that doesn't mean that like you're exempt from regular people problems, bro. Like like
Right, right.
you got this pressure on you from the family to try to help provide and take care of everybody. And it's like people lack empathy and understanding.
Or select empathy. They empathize with certain people, and then they don't with others. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, I spoke on the episode on one of my vlogs about me. I don't know if it was a 4 year time span or maybe 5, but during the whole time that I was there, I told people that I made about $95,000 or something in like a 4 year time span. People were like, oh no, you should be good with that. Now. Should be good with that. I know people with regular jobs that make 65, 70,000 a year. Like, what are you talking about? I'm
Right,
supposed to be a
bro.
rapper.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I'm
nothing.
supposed to be a rapper, and you making that in 4 years, bro. People clearing you in 1 year, man. You feel me? So I'm like, look, bro, it's like one of the first advance was for 35. The next advance was for 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually, was it 25 or 20? It was one of the two. But it's like, even with those two advances alone, 55,000, $60,000 for that, and then just me running around doing shows with them, doing shows alone, everything just probably added up to about 95 in a 4 year time span. And that's like you said, that's nothing.
Yeah, but see, people don't realize that it takes money to make money, right? Like you got to sustain yourself for all those years. You're traveling around. There's expenses. There's a lot of
Right,
stuff.
right.
You got to live up to an image as a rapper too, though, right? Like you know what I mean. You got to
Yeah.
have clothes. You got to have, the jewelry. You got to have all the
I
stuff.
was rapping on the budget though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I was making it look I was making it look like it was more than what it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like,
got to.
I learned that that's like a trait that you develop over time. You're like, you know what, these people not gonna know this, but this is what it was. It's like that's why I made the decision to buy my own chain because I'm like, look, man, all these other groups out here, they styling, they looking a certain way. Man, we gotta look this way. You know what I mean? Like we gotta look like something. We wasn't the group that was um focused on trying to set trends from a fashion standpoint or nothing like that. That was Dipset. You feel me? Like they was the flashy dudes. G Unit would had all the the jewelry. They was doing all that stuff. We wasn't doing that. We was running around dicky suits, sweatsuits, and all that type of stuff. Running around for the hood and the grimy people. But
3X hoodies.
I'm yeah, all that stuff. I'm like, yo, bro. I'm not gonna lie now. We got to shine a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, you guys didn't buy me a chain when we first got our deal, which they were supposed to. So I took it upon myself to get my own. But for the greater good of the group, though, you know what I mean? I'm like, we have to look presentable, man.
Yeah, because if you're looking good, then the whole group looks good.
And if I'm not looking good, the whole group ain't looking good
Right.
because I'm a reflection of them.